Hi guys, so today we're going to do something a little different. See, when I moved to the city here like 6 or 7 years ago, I really knew no one here. And it took me a couple of years to actually meet some interesting people here that I wish I had known the day I came here. And one of these places, unfortunately, is going to cease to exist very soon. In fact, we're going to visit this machine shop that is run by a guy who's going to stay anonymous for the purposes of this video. Most Germans tend to be a little camera shy, and he allowed me to film the shop, but I don't think he's going to show his face. Thing is, he's been operating a old school machine shop filled with like wonderful old German professional machining equipment for 27 years. That is when I don't know if he was fired, but he worked as a tool maker in a factory nearby. That factory closed in 1997. He took basically all the equipment from the old company that he wanted to have and became self-employed in this job shop, if you will, like old-fashioned conventional machining job shop. So what we're going to see is a time capsule. These machines are from the 1960s, maybe 70s. It's all in working condition. He's been working with this for 27 years plus because he also used them in the old job. So he's probably working with it 50 years plus. And he's going to have some eye surgery, and this will spell the end of all of this. The lease is basically running out on December 31st, which is in a few days from now. And after that, most of the machines will be given to people who have already been promised them. So they are basically sold. So this is basically the last chance to get there and to see the last workshop of this kind in this city of 1 million people, I think, and probably one of the few places in Germany that is run like that as a business in 2023. So let's head over there and have a look at that. So here we are, and I actually have the shop all to myself for a few minutes before I will poke the owner about some stories and history about the place and some explanations about individual machines. In case you've been here before, I'd ask you to please respect the wish for anonymity and not post names and locations in the comment section. As you can tell already, almost all of these machines are from the green era of German tool manufacturing, and many of them would have been bought as new equipment back in the 1960s and 70s. Some of the machines were used on a daily basis back in the old factory by workers who worked under a lot of time pressure and certainly pushed them very hard. The fact that a toolmaker with decades of experience can still use them for precision work now, so many years later, speaks for itself. While most of the machines came from his old employer, some of them were also purchased later. But they are still from the same era and fit very well with the rest of the machines. Back in the day, the different roles in the factory were clearly defined, and it was rather unusual that someone was proficient with turning, machining, as well as grinding, and the many other skills that would be required to operate the tools found in this workshop. By the end of his apprenticeship as a toolmaker, our old master here had not worked on a lathe a single time. And his colleagues were rather astonished when one day they found him working the big lathe flawlessly. He had learned this skill by simply watching the old-timers as they worked, and then he just taught it to himself. This workshop has a mid-sized Weiler brand lathe. While the Weiler machine is certainly the most popular among visitors of the shop, who have asked if it's for sale many times over the years, the workhorse of the shop is this big Böhringer lathe here. The tools and chucks apparently fit on both machines, which makes it easier to switch between the two of them. This shop has Fokker chucks, and they come with 58 different sets of jaws. Not that I would need them, but I'm sure some of you might be interested in the future of these machines. Unfortunately, I have to tell you that they are sold already. The shop has 3 drill presses. The small Flot drill press here. Its only downside is its high rotational speed, as well as this bigger Alzmetall brand machine that was necessary when several people worked in the workshop at the same time. The workhorse of the shop is this massive hydraulic drill press here though. And from what I hear, it has not only been used for big workpieces, but also for really small things. Its only real drawback, it has some friction wheels inside the gearbox that would need to be replaced at some point in the future, and I don't know if they can still be obtained. Interesting to see, for anyone who has never been in an old school shop like this, are the many lesser known tools of the trade, like this concentricity testing bench, a device for precise clamping of rotationally symmetrical workpieces, and it is used to perform true running measurements. We also find a marking table with a big set of punches. From what I hear, their colleagues back in the day would often test the punches by punching into the table out of laziness. This one, however, has been kept in pristine condition. Next to it, a Hommel brand measuring plate with various Mitutoyo gauges. And there is also this Austrian-made Eisele metal saw. You can often find these saws in old German metal workshops, and this is actually the same manufacturer of the metal saw I have in my workshop. This one here has been extended a little bit though. Next to it, a big and really heavy bandsaw that apparently can cut through several centimeters of mild steel. The machine's body and enclosure is made from cast. Very impressive. This big polishing machine was made by Greif, a company that we have also encountered before in one of my Repair-A-Thons, when we repaired this unusual grinder here. The shop also has a lot of self-made and modified tools that were once needed for specific jobs, sometimes many years ago. Last but certainly not least, we find two more machines in this corner of the workshop. A Schütte brand tool grinder and also this East German Rula universal milling machine. And this is actually a piece of equipment that I might be personally interested in. If it's still possible to somehow strike a deal, that is. Ja.
Hinten. Hoch. Runter.
As I've said before, lots of people have already been asking about most of the equipment in here, but I think I might have a chance to get my hands on this machine. The great thing is that I know that the machine is still fit for the job, because it is used here all the time, and very importantly, it comes with a ton of tools. And there is little use for a milling machine if you don't have all that additional equipment as well. I'm not sure that I will have enough money to buy any new equipment this coming year though. But be that as it may, my main goal here was not to score anything, but simply show this treasure trove to the world before it ceases to exist, that is, learn more about the idea behind the setup of the workshop and preserve this time capsule here, if only in virtual form, for the future. And make this experience a little more personal for you guys out there. But I have to respect my friend's privacy here as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this little trip as well. And if that was the case, please give the video a like. If you want to support the production of future videos, please consider making a donation or becoming a supporter on Patreon under patreon.com/tpai. Until next time then, and that will be a video about one of my own projects again. See you soon.
23, da sind die alle. Einmal haben wir Schwager kaputt gefahren, einmal hat der Opa selber kaputt gefahren. Das waren dann die Dinger, die haben wir früher abgebrochen und dann der Fahrer da gebunden. Da hat mein Freund mal den Arsch voll gekriegt für so, ja.